Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com. This is my top 10 stocks as we head into Thursday, March 7th. This will be a technical analysis breakdown. So if you're someone that uses charts within your trading, or maybe we're just interested in learning more about charts and how they can be used as a tool to help make good decisions as a trader, this will be a video for you. Also, if you're into Bitcoin, I will do that chart at the very end, so stick around for that. First off, a couple clarifications. Number one, the candlestick that you see right there will be moving around. That is because the market's still open for a small amount of time. But I like to do these videos when the market is still open because sometimes we can capture some really interesting late day price movement. And then second, I'll be using the 30-minute time frame, meaning each one of these candlesticks here represents 30 minutes worth of time. So ticker symbol number one, NYCB, stole the headlines today, not necessarily for good reasons. Absolutely crazy day. It's truly crazy when you look at the math here. Had the bad news right there. Stock plummeted, got halted for a couple of hours. But the crazy thing is, down here right around $1.80, people could have been buying. It then opened up well over 100%. So right there on the open back up, 100% possible doubling of your money just like that after the halt was completed. Of course, that's all hindsight. But still a crazy move. So if you're one of those people that were buying, or you bought down around $1.80 and you doubled your money, I'm sure you're having a very good day. But nonetheless, point here being is that moving forward, I expect this one to continue to be talked about. Obviously, it's got a lot of volatility, so let's map out some key levels moving forward. And from the resistance side of things, main level to watch moving forward, going to be that pink line right there, which on my chart denotes the very well-known, the very famous 200 period moving average. So you're going to want to keep an eye on that. If this price does try to come back upwards, can it break up through there is going to be the key question to watch. If it can, then who knows? Maybe that sends it on another good solid type momentum move. In terms of areas of support, initial level to watch, if this thing does decide to pull back, I think is going to be right down there around the $2.70 mark. So keep an eye on that. And I mean, it's relevant because it happened, but this territory down here, in some senses, doesn't really seem applicable because this was all before the news came out. The news being they were able to raise, I think, like $1 billion from investors. So this was all pre-billion-dollar investment. So that doesn't mean the price can't come down there, but I just think, in my opinion, that's why that 270 mark is going to be more so the accurate level going forward. But 270 main area of support, 200 period moving average, key area of resistance. But if you like volatility, if you like a lot of drama, you like stocks down below $5, definitely keep an eye on this one. Next one, APM, and this one's got a good solid pattern, so not a whole lot to it, other than the fact that you got to think a lot of people have drawn that trend line right there, and I make that comment because when a lot of people have drawn the same trend lines and are wondering the same things, call it a self-fulfilling prophecy, call it whatever you want, it can produce some very dynamic movement. So while nothing is guaranteed, if the price were to come up there and break through that level, it is more than valid to think that break in and of itself could create additional buying pressure. So keep an eye on that. And then the other part of the pattern is just this secondary area of support right there. So let me change that to green to represent support. Then maybe make it easier to see. Let's keep it one color. So we have our resistance. We have our support. We have the huge move up right here. This would be a bull flag pattern. So if you like big movers, if you like volatile stocks and you like bull flags, certainly keeping an eye on APM. Next one here, PHGE, same general idea of what I just talked about. So I'm going to go through this one a little quicker because you just heard me say it. But we have another one of these, if we want to call it, a self-fulfilling prophecy type level, where if the price breaks above it, got to think a lot of people are watching it. So that doesn't guarantee anything, but again, certainly makes it more than valid. We have this area of support right down here at that level. And then, going to just keep it the same color, resistance, support, big upwards move here. This one's a little bit different because it's not quite a flag, but for you golfers, try to make it a little bit more visual. Put the golf down there. This would be a bull pennant pattern. But everything else still the same. You got those potential self-fulfilling prophecies. So if you like penny stocks, you like bull pennants, certainly keep an eye on this one. Next one, SOFI, and this one came up and broke that level very nicely that I talked about, that red line there. So broke through there and made a nice move. And then now it's kind of rolling back over, but to be fair, it hasn't totally rolled back over. So there's still some hope for it moving forward. And if this pullback does continue, then as far as the first key level of support to watch closely is going to be down here right around the $7.15 mark. And nothing fancy or complicated behind that logic other than the fact of, just kind of general area is where the price found some support. Now maybe you're saying, well, Clay, it technically went down to there. And you're right. And if you want to use that as your main support, I would not put up a huge argument against that at all. But nonetheless, for me personally, I think 715 is going to be a little bit more of a potential accurate level of support. So keep an eye on that. And then in terms of areas of resistance, from the naked eye, it looks like it got rejected twice from that area, but let's see. Close. But right at 760, you can see right here, technically speaking, the price didn't quite hit it, Didn't quite hit it, but right there, it definitely got rejected right at that level. So 760 going to be the main area of resistance. But who knows? Maybe this thing enters into some sideways channel where it just chops back and forth between these couple levels. That remains to be seen. But more of the story, this thing is still getting quite a bit of volume, whole lot of volatility. So we'll see if this thing can get a break up through the top part of the channel. Or if you're bearish, maybe you're looking for a downside break. But nonetheless, got to think a lot of people are watching both these levels forming this sideways channel. Next one, AMC, and this is a little tricky to talk about because it's all about perspective. What do I mean by that? Well, if you're some sort of day trader, flipper, scalper, whatever you want to call yourself, and you bought right there and your plan was to buy and sell within 10 minutes, well then yes, from that perspective, the chart looks really bad because yes, after that happened, there's been a very big downwards channel here. With that being said, if you care about the bigger picture, well then part of that is, well, you're going to care more about just several candles. You're going to be saying, okay, yeah, Clay, fair enough. There was this pullback here, but what was happening before this pullback? And you'd say, well, the price has made this very nice upwards move, which now you've seen I've drawn a bull flag pattern. So again, I understand if you're a day trader and you're buying right around here, you definitely don't care about the bull flag pattern. But if you care about the broad scope of things, then yes, even with the pullback today, when you take a step back and look at the past several days, you can see that actually what's occurred right now is the bull flag pattern. Real quick, want to take a break and personally invite you to get signed up for this free live online webinar that I'm offering very soon. So if you've been enjoying what you've seen, you want to learn more about this tool, how it can and should be used to build consistency and manage risk, then certainly get signed up for the free webinar. If you're watching on YouTube, there's a link down in the description box you can use to sign up. Or if you're watching right there at my website, there's an area on the page you can use to sign up. So like I said, if you've been enjoying, then definitely get signed up for the free live class. Next one, MARA, and overall it's hanging in there. What do I mean by hanging in there? Well, I mapped out this area of support previously at 2170, and you can see that early this morning. Price came down here. Bears try to press down through there, but to give credit where credit's due, and by the way, congratulations to anybody that bought at that support, because wow, you got yourself a very nice bounce in the upwards direction. Granted, the price has come back down, but that's more of the intraday stuff. From the overall standpoint, nothing's really happened. What do I mean by that? Well, I mean, from a support standpoint, the price maintained above 2170, and then from a resistance standpoint, I'm going to go ahead and drop this level down because now we have two levels basically right there at $24. You can see right there acted as resistance, and then this afternoon acted as resistance. So keep an eye on that. And now we basically have what we just talked about with SOFI, where is this going to now be some sort of sideways channel pattern that just kind of chops around? And if so, well then from a trading standpoint, that could be a very profitable situation. But if you care about more so the bigger picture and want some bigger type movements, then yeah, maybe the next several days gets a little annoying because it gets stuck in the sideways channel, which as of now, past couple of days, that's essentially right where it's been. So moving forward, if you're to push me in the corner, summarize this for me quickly. I would say sideways channel pattern, top of the channel resistance 24, bottom of the channel support 2170. Next one here, PLTR, and we have ourselves another one of these situations. So I'm going to go through it quick because you heard me talk about it. So yes, if you're a day trader and you bought right there, wanted to buy and sell within 10 minutes, not looking so good because yes, the price did pull back, but you probably know what I'm going to do next. But for the big picture people, they're going to be saying, oh yeah, Clay, it pulled back this afternoon, but what was happening before this afternoon? Well, there was this huge upwards move right there, which now you can see here, we have ourselves another bull flag pattern. So bull flag, I would say really the biggest difference is this one's a little bit more quote unquote expensive. It's not some sort of sub $10 stock, but nonetheless, it is still a bull flag. PLTR, very popular stock, borderline almost a cult stock. And I just bring that up because when there are a lot of people who are watching the same levels, then you can get those potential self-fulfilling prophecies. And when it's almost cult stock, you know that there's lots of people watching. Next one here, TSLA Tesla. And this one is just continuing to kind of bleed. I mean, it recovered nicely today from where it was at these lows, made the nice move here, but then kind of just fell back downwards. So want to get some updates here. Just get rid of that level. I'm going to readjust, and I'm also going to adjust this level down to where we have our new data point. And the data point, nothing fancy, just the question of, okay, where did the bleeding finally stop today? And that was down there at the 173.50 mark. So it's one of these situations now where whenever levels of support need to be adjusted in the downwards direction, not a good sign, which is what just happened right there. From a trading standpoint, and then again, self-fulfilling prophecy type angle, because I mean, it's Tesla. A lot of people are watching Tesla. I state the obvious when I say that. So you got to think a lot of people have drawn that trend line right there. So while that guarantees nothing, it certainly makes it plausible that if the price can come up there and push up through up, that break in of itself could create very nice upwards movement and potentially drive it up to that next area of resistance up around the 186.65 mark. But yeah, as of right now, definitely seems pretty weak, but it is Tesla, and all it takes is the right thing, and you could get yourself a very quality bounce. Next one, RVSN, and once again, going to go through this very quickly because you've already heard me talk about the pattern. Now, the one difference here in the pattern is instead of using a trend line, I'm just going to go ahead and use that pink line there, the 200 period moving average, as our upward trend line. So we have an area of resistance there. We have this area of support right here. We have the big upwards move right here. We have the golf hole down here. So we have ourselves another bull pennant pattern. So I'm going to keep it as simple as that. If you like stocks down below $5, you like bull pennant patterns, you like those potential self-fulfilling prophecies, keep an eye on it. Next one, TQQQ, which is an ETF that measures the NASDAQ market. So if you believe the NASDAQ market as a whole is going to go up, this one will also go up. Pretty crazy day to day, but all things considered, it's basically behaving just like you would expect to see it behave relative to some of these popular levels. The first quote-unquote popular level being that purple line there, 50 period moving average with the price dropping down below it. On Tuesday, you would expect it to act as resistance. You can see it acted as resistance early on Tuesday. And then this morning, got around that general area, came up here, and just flat out right there, acted as resistance. I mean, the price just got stuck in that area. The momentum ultimately dropped, and down it went. So more of the story here moving forward. I mean, public enemy number one, all eyes definitely going to be watching the 50 period moving average. In terms of areas of support, going to keep an eye on definitely the pink line, which is the 200 period moving average. Also happens to be essentially be the little miniature gap close location right there. In the event the price were to drop below there, then I would definitely consider a much more important area of support down there at those lows from Tuesday, which were down around at that $58 mark. But like I said, as of now, kind of choppy, but got to think that there's going to be a ton of people watching that purple line. So can the price break through it? Grab your popcorn. So that wraps up the top 10 stock video here. Now, I know I will still do Bitcoin, but if you're just into stocks, then definitely go get signed up for that free training. It'll be very soon, Thursday, March 7th at 7 p.m. Eastern time. So I hope to see you there. Now for you Bitcoin traders, let's go check out that trade. I noticed I said trade. I'm not sure why I said that, but let's go check out the chart is what I meant to say. And yesterday when I did this was during the big old movement down here. And for those of you that watched that video, I made the comment, okay, I mean, you got to expect a pullback because nothing goes straight up. Both in the grand scheme of things, everything is still perfectly fine, even with this massive pullback. And you can see that over the past 24 hours, a very, very nice return has occurred. Now, it has not broken up through the key area of resistance right up here at $69,050, I'm going to call it. But you got to think that all sorts of people are watching that area right there. So one of those situations where you definitely have a potential self-fulfilling prophecy, especially when it's an all-time high. When prices are breaking all-time highs, that's where things can get extra spicy, and that's what very realistically over the next 24 hours you could be looking at here. So definitely keep an eye on that, and I should have noted that we're not looking at the 30-minute anymore. We're actually looking at the 4-hour time frame, meaning each one of these represents 4 hours, not 30 minutes. But that doesn't take away from the fact that, yes, the price is approaching this area. So grab the popcorn, grab the Sour Patch Kids. Is the price once again prepping for a break up to through all-time highs? Let's see what happens. So that wraps up the video. Again, even if you just trade Bitcoin or crypto, what I'll talk about in the class is still completely relevant to you. And like I said, it'll be Thursday, March 7th at 7 p.m. Eastern time. So definitely go get signed up. Love to have Bitcoin traders there too. So everybody, thanks for watching. Have a good one.